France will extend an overnight curfew to dozens more areas during a bid to slow the spread of coronavirus, Prime Minister Jean Castex has announced. The second wave is now underway, he said, shortly before the country announced a record 41,622 new cases. The 2100 hours to 6 o'clock curfew will inherit force in the dark on Friday, and a few 46 million people will now be suffering from the measure. Countries around Europe are battling rising infection rates. France, Italy, Spain, and therefore the UK are all hotspots. The coming weeks will be hard and the number of deaths will continue to rise, Mr. Castex told a press conference on Thursday. Over the last 24 hours France recorded 162 more deaths. If we fail to prevent the pandemic, we'll be facing a dire situation and that we will need to mull much tougher measures, he added. We still have time to avoid that, but we do not have much time, he said. The Prime Minister's announcement came but every week after an equivalent curfew was applied to the Paris region and 8 other cities, including Marseille, Lyon, Lille, and Toulouse. The restrictions are going to be extended to 38 more administrative departments also because the overseas territory of Polynesia, and can remain in situ for 6 weeks. The overnight curfew has drawn complaints from restaurant owners, whose businesses are already suffering after the 2-month lockdown within the spring. But President Emmanuel Macron has said they're necessary to avoid the danger of hospitals being overrun. France has reported more than 20,000 new cases over the past 6 days, and the total number of confirmed infections now stands at nearly 1 million. Elsewhere in Europe, new Level 5 rules have inherited force in Ireland, the very best level of COVID restrictions there. Its 5 million people have been ordered to stay at home for 6 weeks. A second lockdown is in force in the Czech Republic, which is facing a big surge in cases. Prime Minister Andrej Babiš said the harsh restrictions were needed to avoid hospitals being overwhelmed. Slovakia is closing schools until November 27, imposing a week-long lockdown on its 4 most affected districts, a partial lockdown on the rest of the country, and embarking on 2 rounds of testing for the whole population, PM Igor Matovic said on Thursday. Greece's Prime Minister has declared a night curfew in Athens and other areas. It will come into force from Saturday and applies between 00:30 and 5 o'clock. Germany has announced a record 11,287 daily number of infections. Health Minister Jens Spahn has himself caught coronavirus. The country also added the UK to its list of high-risk countries from which visitors must quarantine. In the UK, officials announced that the urban areas of Stoke-on-Trent, Coventry, and Slough would move into Tier 2 restrictions on Saturday. Health Secretary Matt Hancock said altogether of those areas the infection rate was over 100 per 100,000 people. Italy's Lazio region around Rome has joined 2 other Italian regions in declaring overnight curfews. Lombardy in the north starts its curfew at 2300 hours, 2100 hours o'clock GMT, on Thursday, and Campania and Lazio will follow suit on Friday. Professor Walter Ricciardi, who advises the government on health, has warned that some metropolitan areas like Milan, Naples, and doubtless Rome are already out of control. Spain is the first EU country to record 1 million infections, and the northern region of Navarre has imposed restrictions on movement. The Rioja wine region says it'll do an equivalent. Belgium's 45-year-old Foreign Minister Sophie Wilms has been admitted to intensive care after testing positive for COVID-19 last week. Her spokeswoman said she was in a stable condition. Meanwhile, health workers have raised concerns over the rising number of cases in the country. with the head of a coronavirus testing center in the city of Liege warning that the situation is close to catastrophe. The Netherlands may begin transferring patients to Germany within 2 days as its health system faces increasing strain from coronavirus admissions, the Hospital Association LNAZ said. The Netherlands also registered more than 9,000 new cases in a new daily record.